Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell. Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan were recently in New York, where Harry was invited to give the keynote speech for Nelson Mandela Day at the United Nations. Now, having listened to a few of Harry's speeches in the past, I'd have to say that this speech was one of his best to date. And did anyone notice that he didn't look at his notes not once? He delivered a fabulously inspiring and thought-provoking speech while looking great in Dior. Yeah, Dior even gave him a little shout out, making sure the masses knew that Harry was decked out in Dior for his special day. Now, of course, Meghan was looking fabulous in an all-black ensemble, cheering her hubby on and at times looking like a love-stricken sweetie pie, which is nothing new since we always know that Harry and Meghan are really big on PDA and publicly showing how much they love and support each other, which was noted when Harry called Meghan his soulmate during his speech. Now, for the girls who are the fashion-minded Meghan fashion watchers, then you know that that black ensemble that she wore was a rewear of sorts, but kind of not really. She wore a green version of this outfit in 2018, I believe, in Ireland. Now, unbeknownst to us, Aoki Lee Simmons, who is the daughter of Russell Simmons and Kamora Lee Simmons, was in the room, and she had to let the girls know that she breathed Meghan Markle's air. So it's always good to see other fangirls out there who are showing some love and support to our special Duchess. A very sweet moment from Harry and Meghan's time at the United Nations included Meghan offering a bottle of water to a woman who was sitting behind her and Harry, who was having a bit of a coughing spell. And that was caught on camera and, of course, made the rounds on the media of Meghan being Meghan. I mean, how can anyone not like her? She is genuinely so sweet and thoughtful and practical. Sort of reminds me of the time that she offered the lady who was carrying the little baby at the Invictus Games her coat so the baby could be a little warm and cozy while being held by her mother. I mean, this is nothing new. This is just sort of what Meghan does. But you know, every little thing that she does made the news, and it was nice for a change to see that it was something so positive and sweet, and was even written about, and Meghan was referred to as the People's Duchess, so that's really sweet. Oh. Now, after the festivities at the UN, Meghan met up with Gloria Steinem, and for those of you who don't know, she is a social activist that Meghan has worked with in the past. After the Meghan mania of the UN with Harry and grabbing a quick lunch with Gloria Steinem, went to bed feeling very happy, only to wake up to these fabulous photos of Harry and Meghan having a date night out in New York. Now, before I can even look into what is she wearing, who is she wearing it by, what's the cost, what are the outfit deets, the bag, the shoes, only to find out that that outfit had already been sold out. Seriously, you guys. Sold out within hours after the photos were released of them in a date night. How fantastic is that? The Meghan effect is real. Now, there are those who said that Meghan's outfit is inspired by Queen Maxima, which it very well might be. But for those of you who don't know, Scarlett Johansson wore the exact same romper jumpsuit I believe in 2020 or 2021 for the People's Choice Awards. So there you go. She's in good company. Looked fabulous, refreshed, well moisturized, love, and rich. And I love that for her. Now, Meghan is no stranger to fabulous jumpsuits, and also the silhouette of that outfit closely resembles an older look that she had worn in her pre-Duchess days with the designer Roland Moret. Now, Forgive me if I've mispronounced his last name. But yeah, the silhouette and the look that Meghan wore on her date night with Harry is very similar to her pre-Duchess fashion, and I think she looked so fabulous and so happy. I love that for them. Now, when it comes to any sort of article or book or interview done by royal experts or royal reporters or royal autobiographers coming out of the UK that has anything to do with Harry and Meghan, I generally do not engage. I don't read, I don't click, I don't buy, I don't bother, because I know it's just going to be a bunch of biased nonsense and a whole lot of lies. Now, the upcoming book by Tom B, because I'm not even going to say his name, is no exception. But this time around, I've noticed that there has been a huge amount of pushback onto the claims that Tom has made in his upcoming book. A book which, according to the people on Twitter, has been pushed back. I believe it was supposed to be released within the next week, but now it's been pushed back or delayed to November due to the pushback online, and also due to the pushback by the Vanity Fair writer. Now, for those of you who don't know, there was a Vanity Fair bit done on Meghan called She's Just Wild About Harry before they got married. And Bauer, in his book, said some really nasty and disparaging things, but also some mistruths about that Vanity Fair piece. And luckily enough, Sam Kashner, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name properly, the person who wrote the piece and did the piece and interviewed Meghan for that Vanity Fair piece, came out and wrote a letter saying that the content of Bauer's book did not accurately convey his thoughts and his experiences with Meghan. And I loved that he had the backbone and integrity to call Bauer out. I feel like a lot of people in the media just sort of turn the other cheek and not really call out these royal experts and royal biographers out for their very blatant lies. He made a lie about Serena, not acknowledging Meghan and hers friendship, when Serena, a little kid who knows how to use Google on the phone could do a quick 5-minute search and find a plethora of receipts showing so many times where Serena has publicly talked about her friendship with Meghan, having nothing but warm words of support and love for her dear friend, dating all the way back to 2014. And I'm just like, why would you feel the need to lie about something that's so easily disproven? I feel like Bauer wanted to get some attention from Meghan. He wanted her to sue, because if she sues and she gives him attention, that creates more buzz around his books, and more buzz around the books equals more profits. And I feel like Bauer is trying to pull a Piers Morgan, where they're just really obsessively throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Meghan, trying to get her to engage with them. And so far, Meghan has been giving Bauer the same treatment as she's done with Piers, as is no engagement. She didn't have to lift a finger, she didn't have to sic her lawyers, and I hope to God that she just ignores this man and his trash book entirely, because the internet got her back. And not just Sussex squatties who are pulling out the receipts, like random people, and there are even people in the American media who are coming on social media and saying, there is a whole machine behind the Meghan Markle bashing business. It's a business that engages and creates millions of dollars, even on YouTube. We know there are so many single-purpose hate accounts on YouTube who break a lot of these rules and regulations of YouTube, but YouTube doesn't do anything. They don't stop them. They don't take down the channels, only because it creates a lot of money for them. Monetized engagement is the name of the game, and all of these writers of their articles and books and content creators who make a living out of bashing Meghan, they're not going to stop, because why stop a good thing that puts money in your pocket, you know? And I don't care about what it does to her and her mental health. It's just so sordid and seedy and sinister. And the saddest part is, besides that, like even her family members, you know, her trash sister Scammy and her half brother, and even her father, you know, your family is supposed to be the ones to have your back, and they threw her to the wolves repeatedly over the years, all in an effort to make money, you know, and possibly because it felt good. We know that everyone who's kinfolk and kinfolk, and everyone who's your family and your blood, does not have your back, does not love you, will not respect you. They will turn on you in an instant. But I feel like the tide has been turning. There have been a lot of people who aren't really royal watchers, who just sort of get little tidbits of information from whatever headlines they see or the little shots that are done on the news, but they never really paid too much attention. They don't dig into the meat of things the way Meghan fans do or the way Sussex fans do, you know? But they're starting to realize, well, crap, this woman is an entirely different continent, minding her business, you know, supporting her man, giving back to her community, giving back to others, taking care of her kids, just very drama-free. We barely see her, and yet there's still a barrage of this nonsense directed at her. Like, what's going on now? This isn't normal. This is kind of crazy. And then when you have people like Bauer and what was the name of the lady that did the book before him? Tina, whatever. Like, there's so many books about it. But a lot of people are seeing the lies and inconsistencies from these royal experts. And I use the word experts loosely. And they're starting to call it out. And I love that for Meghan and Harry. I hope they just continue to keep on loving each other, keep on being the hands-on parents that they are, keep on using their platforms for things that matter to them, and just keep on living a life of peace and balance, you know? It's been rumored that Harry and Meghan are extremely hands-on parents, and then they're still taking the time to do the projects that they want to do in the time that they want to do it, and I wish that they continue to do that and just forget the noise, you know? Let your PR people do their thing, let your lawyers do their thing, and just live a life of peace and happiness, because I feel like they deserve it. They're not perfect, but they don't deserve this barrage of nonsense that comes from their family, that comes from the press, that comes from haters. But every once in a while, I feel like there are celebrities who just go through it. You know, they get picked and people just make an effort to tear them apart. Before Harry and Meghan, I mean, we know what they did to Princess Diana. And now the very same people, and Harry's father and brother, who should be supporting him, who should understand where he's coming from, have turned on him, worked with the press, you know, just as Charles had worked with the press to tear Diana apart. Now he's working with the press, him and his trashy wife Camilla, to take down Meghan and engage in some of these nasty conspiracy theories, all in an effort to get good PR for themselves. You know, it's really, really sad. It's really sad. But a lot of people are seeing the light and calling it out, and they don't have to say anything or do anything. They're just letting the work that they do and the life that they lead do all the talking. And I love that for them. Now also, I don't want to spend too much time on this Bauer trash writer, but he had been accused of lying in other articles and books that he'd written, and I had no idea. Like, I didn't know who he was, honestly, until I had saw that little tidbit of him and Piers and him going on and on about Meghan being a brazen hussy for having the gall to put down her car window, you know, and smile to some people. A brazen hussy for entering their precious royal space looking fabulous and not giving a damn. Like, that's the first time I heard about this fool. Wish I never heard of him. Quite frankly, I wish I'd never heard of the names of so many of these royal experts and writers, because they're just gossips. Honestly, at this point, when you really pay attention to the content that they put out, there is no like journalistic integrity. It's just a bash session. It's just a hit piece. And I've seen a lot of Brits on social media calling that book a hit piece. Pure and simple, you know? He lied about her wanting to meet Emma Watson when there are pictures of Meghan meeting Emma Watson years before. Like, why do you lie about little things that could be easily disproven? Again, I think it's because he wants a lawsuit. He wants some attention. And Bauer and Piers and the whole lot of them have a very particular look. You know, they're old white dudes who are so full of misogyny and deeply enrooted beliefs of classism, laced with some really racist outlooks on life, you know. They have a specific look, and you know what I'm talking about. But I'm glad that Meghan isn't letting them steal her joy, and her and Harry are just continuing to keep on keeping on. And I'm so excited to read Harry's upcoming book. I know there's some people who want him to like go in on his family. Honestly, I don't think that he will. And I quite frankly hope that he doesn't. I feel like he's done so much. 10-year vet, 2 tours to Afghanistan, all of the life work that he's done with Santa Bali, with Invictus Games, falling in love, becoming a father, becoming a business owner, coming into his own. I feel like he has so many rich stories to tell, and I hope that he focuses on that. There will be plenty of time enough in the future to throw them bows if needed, and I'm sure that it's probably going to be needed, because we know William he's like a dog with a bone. He seems very intent on trying to have this one-sided competition with Harry, who's just out here, you know, living his best life. Booked, busy, and unbothered, you know, eating all that well-cooked and seasoned food by a woman who looks at him like she sees a snack, even though he looks at her like he sees a snack too. So it's all good. But I could ramble on, but I'm not going to do that. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell.